And those BMWs compared to some of the Ferraris should balance things out just a little bit. Curious to see who's driving what in tonight's race.
Yeah, as howdy, everybody, and welcome to the Ricmotech GT Challenge presented by Proformer Elite Texas Graphics here at Lime Rock Park. I'm Austin Knight. We do not have Peter McKay this week, but we found another Scotsman to fill in for him, an American Scotsman. It's Larry McLeod. We also have Alex Simpson and Dennis Branch in the production booth. Larry, how are you doing? Welcome to the Ricmotech GT Series.
I'm doing well, Austin. I'm so looking forward to seeing GT cars just go screaming around the bull ring here at Lime Rock Park tonight.
Yeah, we have 75 minutes of action-packed racing. Should be about 94 laps for our GTE drivers, but if there is no cautions, which in this really tight track, there might be a chance we might see the, I would say, second caution in the Ricmotech series.
Well, they might be right. I think if they're running that chicane, that's a good opportunity for it. That is a very tight chicane. I've run that a few times out here, and traffic backs up pretty tight when you've got a field this size and with two different classes coming through here. Some of those GT3s start catching up to the GTEs. It could really get messy in there, or even going out into one. It's really quite a funnel into there. So watching the mixing up could be interesting to see if we do get any full course cautions.
Yeah, and we got to avoid those giant curves. If the tire hits one of those curves, they will be sent up and almost into another driver, which is never a good sign. A few BOP changes for this round. Our Ferraris and the GT3s are receiving a weight addition, as well as the Porsche 911s and the GTEs. They're going to be getting a 10 kilogram. Both those cars getting weight additions for this round by, as looks like qualifying is starting up right now here at Lime Rock Park.
Well, qualifying to me is going to be is really the key to this race. As difficult as it's going to be to pass around this little bull ring, the front straight just not quite long enough to do any sort of drafting to get on by, and so getting a good position on the start of this race really is going to be the key for some of these drivers.
Yeah, these drivers have to be picture perfect here right now, and we're looking at Elvis Rankin, who last time by in the GTEs around Mosport, well, he had an amazing qualifying, but turn one on lap one is just his race went from good to absolute sour, and didn't even finish in the top 10, which is usually something that we don't really see. And speaking of all the action of last round, we're going to go for a little bit of a recap to last round at Mosport.
It was an overcast day for the start of round 6 at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park as Dennis Savretic would bring the GTE field to the green. Then on lap 3, trouble would find Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke under braking, entering Moss Corner as both drivers would go off track, with Schwenke recovering into second place and Dam dropping all the way to 7th as he struggled to get back on track. Dennis Savretic would not only lead early on, but had a 6-second lead by lap 5. On lap 9, the number 93 of Mike Dam had caught back up to the field as he and Arthur Chan make a brave pass to the outside through turns 9 and 10 to take over 4th and 5th. By lap 16, Mike Dam had caught Jennifer McDonald, making a move to the inside for 4th at the entry of turn 8. GT3 brought the excitement with Elvis Rankin and Jeff Jacobs donning the front row as they took the green for round 6, but problems ensued quickly for the number 1 and championship leader as Rankin loses the rear end on the entry of turn 1 and ends his race before it even got started. The now inherited leader of Jeff Jacobs didn't seem to want the lead very long either as he overshoots the entry at Moss Corner and drops back to 8th. The lead now went into the confident hands of Tony Kernan in that black number 7 as he would lead for 29 laps until this unfortunate crash entering turn 8 on lap 33. Back in GTE, the number 93 of Mike Dam continued to have brake issues, this time collecting the wall in Moss Corner, ending his race early just 17 laps in. This would now open the door for Schwenke to concentrate on his pursuit of Dennis Savretic. Jennifer McDonald and Arthur Chan had quite the battle for P3, but in the end, Jennifer was able to hang on to her first podium this season. Travis Schwenke brought a solid second-place finish home for Orion Racing, but it was Dennis Savretic who again would dominate and capture another victory for that Band of Others race team. GT3 would see Derek Holland in the Indy Autosports machine having a good solid fourth-place run, but as the laps would wind down, the biggest battle would be between Jeff Jacobs and that number 38, battling for second with Kevin Ford, but after a quick pit stop, that number 32 Ricmotech machine would hold him off for second, with the number 5 of Tyler Guillemette getting his first victory of the season.
And welcome back to the Ricmotech GT Challenge Series presented by Proforma Texas Graphics. Here in qualifying, to see all of our drivers getting their qualifying laps in. We got a few drivers on the face cams tonight. We got Elvis Rankin, Jeff Jacobs, Arthur Chan as well. In our bottom right hand corner, I believe that is one of our BMW drivers. I'm going to say that would be Travis Schwenke. No, it's Bobby Childs. I was wrong. And I'm looking at a few of these drivers. I'm noticing Arthur Chan's camera. He's got a nice pedal cam. So if you want to watch Arthur go around the track, he's going to be very active on those pedals. So you can just see on how precise he is on the throttle and brake as he goes around this track. Currently looking at Mike Dam in that 93 Porsche. He's currently sitting second in the qualifying times, comes across the line to go up to his 47.637, just 700ths of a second behind Travis Schwenke up there.
Just watching Elvis kind of applaud himself a little bit. Apparently happy with his lap time there.
Well, he did set a new fast lap of the race. He's currently sitting 0.8 ahead of the field right now.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that as well.
Elvis Rankin, or as Peter would say, young masterclass Elvis Rankin. This kid is a, quote, wonder kid, and that lap time right there is absolutely a reason why. 0.8 cleared the field in just 5 minutes into qualifying. We'll see if he can keep that. We got a new leader in the GTEs, Mike Dam. 47.39, leads by 1.6.
That is tight, though. That is extremely tight at the top. And like I said, passing here is going to be really tight. So being a 10th up in qualifying and being ahead on that grid really does make a difference. If you can get in front into turn 1, you can hold the field behind you for quite a bit. And the critical is going to be here, as you can see, going through those S's and getting a clean line through there without using too much of the curbs. A tough place to get around.
Absolutely. It is a very tough place. It's a very rhythmic place, especially when you head up into those chicanes. And to know more on how tricky this place is, we're going to lead you guys on a lap guide here at Lime Rock Park.
Welcome, everyone, to Lime Rock Park, located here in beautiful Lakeville, Connecticut. It's great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide today around this 1.5-mile bull ring of a road course. Designed by John Fitch, Lime Rock was constructed all the way back in 1956 and is the third oldest road course in America today. The course is unique as there are no grandstands. Fans gather right here on the hillsides to enjoy the racing. The course has seen minimal changes over the years and has been raced by legends like Sam Posey and Paul Newman. The course still hosts major events to this day and remains one of the greatest road courses in the U.S. Well, let's begin our track guide as we head up this Sam Posey front straightaway here and get ready to head into turns 1 and 2. These are double right-handers as we get down through the gears here and approach these two corners of 1 and 2. We're going to track out wide out of 1 and get right down to the bottom of turn 2. Let that car track out again, off 2, and set up a wide entry into 3. This is the only left-hander here, very tight left-hander. We're going to set up our exit out of 4 here to come out onto No Name Straight And what a straight it is. Not exactly straight and very short at that. As we get back down through the gears for the chicane of 5, 6, and 7. Up through the hill, this will take us to what's known as West Bend. Turn 8 here at Lime Rock. Get down into that corner nice and tight, wide open off the exit, and then roll down into what is now turn 10 here at Lime Rock and up the front straightaway once again. And there's your quick and very fast lap around Lime Rock Park. Thank you so much for being with us.
And welcome back after that lap around Lime Rock Park. Very short lap, but very fast and tricky lap. You'll be seeing a lot of them. Here is our current championship standings for our GTE drivers. Dennis Savertek sits on top of the standings at 154 points ahead of Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke, who are in a very tight battle for second place. Jennifer McDonald, she sits in 4th place, followed by Ryan Collins, Justin Corral, Arthur Chan, Jordan Feike, Jonathan Corral, Rafael Sosa, Wajiz Jajua, and Andrea Sr., followed by Robert Hartley and Miguel Arcrodo in 14th. And that's your GTE standings. Let's go to Laird for our GT3 standings.
Over here we got Elvis Rankin, Cameron Martineau, Tyler Julimet in 3rd, Chris Dorman in 4th, Jose Doleo, Jeff Jacobs in 6th, William DeLone, Bobby Childs in 8th, Kevin Ford in 9th, and Caleb Lavender in 10th, Kevin Hawkinson, followed by Tony Kernan, David Patton, Derek Holland, Steve Daniel, David Duino, Russ Ruddock, and Scott Brooks. A few more. Daniel Munoz, Nathan Manning, Ray Rodriguez, Joel Lee, Matthew Molnar, Jeremiah Kellum, and Ken Ladd.
Yeah, it's that gap at the front that we really want to focus on, too. 2 points separate our championship leaders in the GT3 class. And after last round, that would happen to Elvis Rankin. We might see that be challenged today, especially around Lime Rock Park, because the traffic here and the pit stop strategy is going to be absolutely critical.
It really is. Managing traffic is going to be the secret here, especially as the front runners in the GT3 start to catch the back markers there. They're going to be fighting through some traffic, and then probably 5 laps in is just going to be nothing but traffic throughout the rest of the race. Your lap times will drop off by 2 seconds, 3 seconds as you try to make it around somebody, and then you've got a time when you're going to run your pit stop. And that the timing of it, how you manage that through traffic, could define very well your position at the finishing of this race.
Absolutely. And the GT3s, we're expecting their first pit stop, or the earliest pit stop that they can run, would be at the end of lap 30, and the GTE should be at the end of lap 29. So about lap 30 is when our pit window should be opening up, and they could go from 30 to 59 all the way to 65 for the GTEs.
And that's going to come up quick. Look at these lap times. They're 47 and 50 seconds around this place. That's just lightning quick around here. You think about running like the Miatas or the Skip Barber cars around this place, and they're upwards around a minute. These guys are 10 seconds quicker. This is just amazing how fast these things lap around here.
It's running times when I ran over here, when I driven here in real life. That was my time I got here with about what? In a old Skippy. So yeah, absolute blazing fast times that these GTEs and GT3s are coming around here.
Yeah, just amazing. Gonna be tight though. It's real estate at a premium with these classes and these kind of cars, because they're gonna just be flying down these straightaways, and then you come up into that turn 1, and it's just going to be a bit of a bottleneck. It's your only chance to pass, and if you're behind somebody for 4 and 5 or 6 laps, and you start to get desperate to make that pass, because there really is no other place to get on by, because once you get through the exit of 1 and 2, it's down through the S's, through that chicane, and up around the top of the hill and back down again, and it's just so hard. So at some point, desperation sets in, so we might start seeing some desperate moves into turn 1. See if the drivers are disciplined enough to make them clean passes.
Yeah, you did say it's the only place to pass. I was going to cut you off there. It's the only safe place to pass.
It's true.
I've seen some ludicrous dives heading into the chicanes. We might see that. And speaking of those chicanes, if anyone's a fan of Mario Kart, there's some red turtle shells on those apexes, and if you hit one, you're going to be feeling a bad day.
Very, very
especially
true.
because the high chance of getting not only body damage from those curves, but you can also get suspension damage, or the worst one, multi-car incident. And we did say that there is a possibility of a full course caution if the track does get blocked. So watch out for race control, especially if that happens. And because this track is going to get very crowded here today. We got 21 cars out on track today, but there are 21 big cars, and they can certainly fill up this track from nose to tail.
Yeah, and they will. It's going to be really just packed all the way around. And the start of this race is just going to be a bit of mayhem. It's going to be a lot of discipline. It's a long race. This isn't exactly like a 10-lap or a 20-lap sprint. As you mentioned, it's going to be 30-something laps or around 30 laps just to get to the pit stop. But, 75 minutes, this is going to be a long, long race that these drivers are going to be really settling in for. This is more of a marathon than a sprint today, for sure.
Yeah, 75 minutes, marathon, and a little bit of a patience tester. And something we know about some of these guys, they're not patient sometimes.
They are definitely not. We've seen some moves in recent weeks that, even on opening laps where in an hour and a half race, perhaps that move could have been better spent on the 80th minute instead of the first minute. But we'll see what they've got here tonight and see if they've got that patience sorted out. Had a few weeks to think about Mosport and kind of settle themselves in and come in here to Lime Rock with a different attitude maybe.
Yeah, Lime Rock, as qualifying comes to a halt, we're waiting for the session to tick over and the command to be given to race control. Rolling starts as usual. It's going to be pretty much halfway across the track for the GTEs and GT3s. The start zone is immediately as the last corner ends, and at the start of the pit lane, that is when our pole sitters are going to go, which will be Mike Dam and Elvis Rankin. As I can say, as nobody is back out on track right now, and they've pretty much secured both their spots up at front, but can they keep them throughout these 75 minutes?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. That turn one it's always too wide through turn one. I think you're going to see Cameron Martineau try and make some kind of a move on Rankin and just try to get in front of him. Because if he can get in front of him, he can hold behind perhaps for a bunch of laps, and then it's just going to get tight. But if Elvis is able to hold that through one, he's going to be looking at those GTE cars out in front.
Indeed, he is. And it's that dive into turn one as qualifying is over. The cars are coming up on the grid. Here is your starting lineup here at Ricmotech GT Challenge for Lime Rock Park. Mike Dam starts up on pole, followed by Travis Schwenke right beside him. Robert R. Hartley starts in the second row, followed by Jennifer McDonald. Third, followed by Arthur Chan, Ryan Collins, George Feike, and seventh place. And starting up on pole in the GT3 category is going to be Elvis Rankin with Karen Martineau right beside him. They're followed by Daniel Munoz, Jeff Jacobs, who apparently you have some real-life experience with. We'll get back to that later. Followed by Bobby Childs, Tyler Guillometti, Tony Kanai, Chris Thorman, Kevin Ford, Derek Holland, Steve Daniels, Luiski Deolio, Scott Brooks, and Russ Ruddick right behind them at the back of that 14-car grid in the GT3s. And I would say Peter's curse of almost saying race marshal every time has carried over to me, because I certainly almost did it.
This is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be who's got the discipline to stay clean to get around this first lap, which is just going to be one of those hold your breaths kind of laps, and to just settle in, let the race come to them. And then it's going to be who can save some tires and maybe really let the car have some pace going into the pit stop, and who's got pace at the end of the race. Because, again, 75 minutes is not a short race by any means.
Yeah, an hour and 15 minutes sit ahead of these drivers, around 94 laps for the GTEs. And, well, are we going to see drivers go for no tires? Are we going to see them go for tires? Because that has been that's been kind of the main story of the season, especially in the GT3s with Cameron Martineau. He would be up in the lead, and he would risk not taking tires, and then next thing you know, he gets passed by cars that do take tires. And so the pit stop strategy, the tire strategy are going to be all big stories as the lights are coming on the pace car, we're going to start our formation lap here at beautiful Lime Rock Park. Should see these guys take a single file formation lap, especially through the chicanes, but immediately after, we're going to start seeing them slow up, start going 2 by 2. But Lime Rock Park, such a beautiful circuit. Only one left-hand turn, which is known as, well, left-hander.
It's some creative names around this place. The left-hander, the right-hander, the uphill, the downhill.
No name straight. Sam Posey straight is probably the most creative name they have.
At least Sam got his recognition for sure. A legend of motorsports.
Absolutely. As the GT3 class is just now getting off the grid, we're looking at our GTEs behind that Porsche safety cars. They're approaching the cones of doom, as one of my friends once said, as they're heading into the chicanes right now, which is going to be a big highlight of this race.
Yeah, it's tense. It's tense. Just think if you're sitting 3rd and 4th or 5th on your grid, right in the middle of this, the heart of these packs, you're going to be just your head on a swivel through the turn 1 and through the left-hander complex.
Indeed, and the head on swivel is going to start coming up right now as the Porsche is speeding up and about to head across that final corner. Right as this corner ends, Mike Dam can go. He must go before the pit lane starts, as the Porsche is pulling off, and here goes Mike Dam as we go green, green, green here at Lime Rock Park with the Ricmotech GT Challenge. Good start by Dan, Schwenke, Hartley, McDonald, Chan, Collins, Fikey, all of them staying in position just a little bit side by side they go. Then they go back to single file. Let's go over to our GT3 class with Larry.
There's a lot of good discipline there, but right here, look at Elvis Rankin getting the huge jump there on the field. He just said as soon as that pace car went in, he was going to take the jump, and he did. No one's going to get in front of him. Now the question is, what's going to happen behind? As Martineau and Munoz and Jacobs able to pick up a spot, they're side by side in the middle of this corner, and we've already got a car off the back.
That's Chris Foreman off of the track.
Oh. Well, he's still rolling, no contact there, but he's got a lot of work to do to catch up to the pack. As Rankin really just took the advantage of that haze, you know, as soon as the pace car was in, off he went.
Also, while we're looking at that, a little bit of a bunch up in the chicanes. Start is under review in the GT3 class. Arthur Chan made a move on Jennifer McDonald heading into the chicane, so already not a lot of patience being helped by these drivers.
No, not at all. I thought maybe here in the GTEs they were showing a little bit of patience at the start, where they all kind of went single file through the first turn, but over in the GT3s, maybe not quite as much patience.
Indeed, they are. Well, you know, some racing drivers, they see a move, they go for it. Eric said, like, we got a car off. That would be the 87 of Arthur Chan. He's looking very rowdy here today, and that start, Mike Dam actually locked up going into the chicane, which created a massive pile up of cars behind him. Everyone was going slow. Jennifer McDonald, she's looking a little bit slow, as Orion Collins is nipping at her heels.
And this is what happens here at Lime Rock, is you can be nipping at somebody's heels all day long, but until you make a real move to get up alongside of them and stick it there 3 or 4 corners in a row, you're probably not going to make it by. And a pass here means you got to be on their bumper coming down the hill, on their bumper down the front straight, maybe get alongside them, and that might not even be enough. You got to stay alongside them through the left-hander, through the right-hander, and then maybe make the pass going to the chicane. That's how hard it is to pass.
It especially is, and especially if you make a mistake. I believe we're about to set a record here at Ricmotech for the first on-lap pass in a race. Well, first lapping of a car in a race, as we have a fight for third in the GT3s between Tyler Giometti and Daniel Munoz. The 111 versus the 5. And these two really going at it with each other, but Karen Martineau and Elvis Reagan flying away from the rest of the field. And ooh, a lot of damage for Jeff Jacobs.
Yeah, he definitely looks to get into something. Yeah,
but it is going to affect him just a little bit.
Yeah, I would think around here my choice might have been the Ferrari, but you know, he does love that Mercedes, so I think he's going to be sticking with that pretty much the whole season. But around this place, it's going to be tough. And there's another one off. Yep.
Yeah, it's the GT3 of Chris Thorman as the field is trying to lap him. Now they got side by side behind him with the Porsche of Ryan Collins looking down to the inside, Jennifer McDonald's. And they went 3 wide down the straight. That was craziness happening.
You come off of that downhill curve, and if you get the line wrong, you're going outside, but you don't take your foot out of it. You just stick with it, and then you come back on track, and it just creates those crazy 3 wides. You don't want to give up position around here.
Yeah, we've all seen the iRacing incident videos of that final quarter on here of just Skippies mostly getting shot off that grassy hill and then straight into the pit wall. I thought we were about to have one of those.
But I may have done that once or twice, and Skippy, your respect for it.
May have done it in F3 and scared the livingness out of me, especially during week 13.
Week 13, that's what it's meant for. That's what the whole week's all about.
I know. I don't race here usually in any series outside of week 13. And we got a car that's off. That'll be a turn on. As there's Russ Ruddick now being put to work by Travis Schwenke, who's looking down the inside. Very risky opportunity for Schwenke to try to pull a lapping move right there. This is great beneficial for Mike Dam. He's already pulled out a 2.5 second gap, and these lap cars are showing that traffic management is definitely a must-have right here. Schwenke down the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact between the 2 classes, and now here comes Hartley down the inside. The 2 BMWs having a little bit of a drag race here down the Sam Posey straight. No moves being made, but Schwenke now knowing that Hartley needs business and he needs to be a little bit more quicker around these lap cars.
You do have to get by them quickly. There's a lap car. You don't want to spend even half a lap behind them because that just means, looking at the lap time delta, it's about 3-4 seconds on average here between the GTEs to the GT3s. So if you're in a GTE car, you need to get by them at half a lap or you're going to lose that 4 seconds.
Absolutely. Mike Dam, he just cleared 3 GT3s just like that, and making about 4 as he sits on the back of Derek Holland.
And if one of those GT3s costs you a strong run onto the front straight, it's going to cost you another second as you just carries all the way down that front straight.
As that front straight, very, like you said, very easy, the best place to make the pass, but you don't want to be waiting an entire lap to make a pass right there. Kevin Ford now next up in line for Mike Dam, who is still increasing that gap as, well, the more cars you put behind you, the more cars that they will have to go through, and they definitely don't want to go through there. Mike Dam down the inside heading into the chicanes. That's a very compromised line and smacks that curve as the rest of the GTEs go into it. And
Speaking of smacking,
through, but Robert Hartley gets to the back of Arthur Chan.
He gave him a little bit of help coming out of the chicane. Just, you know, gave a little extra bump to make sure he got moving quicker. Got a little slide coming out of the downhill. Big slide.
We got a card. That's Holland. Derek Holland to the wall.
Yeah, they were going side by side coming down there, and he might have had a little bit of help.
The Indy Autosport driver, Derek Holland, in the wall. They got a very nice tire barrier right there, so no real damage that we could see, but very unfortunate for Derek Holland. Here's what happened. Got into the back, then got a tap from the back from Orion. And, it's just rock hard. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, they had a little bit of help.
Yeah,
one of the GTE BMWs there.
Yeah, that incident is under review.
Didn't look like he got all the way to the wall, though, so may have minimized the damage there. Might have just been the car-to-car contact, so got away pretty cleanly otherwise.
You're right. No damage that we can see on the car. There might have been a little bit of contact, but the walls here in iRacing, if it is a tire wall, tire barrier, it won't really give you that full amount of damage, unlike that Jeff Jacobs has. As Mike Dam works with him. We got a fight for 5th between Bobby Childs and Jeff Jacobs. Childs trying to hold that outside line around the only left-hander around here, but Jeff Jacobs used that Mercedes acceleration to his advantage and that Ferrari weight penalty that they have for this round to his advantage to stay ahead of Bobby Childs. And you do know Jeff from real life.
I do, actually, yes. Jeff's an avid autocrosser. with the SCCA. He's been autocrossing for probably about as long as I have. He's out of the Philly area. I'm out of Detroit, but pro solos and solo nationals, I've run against Jeff. I think run against him in some pro solo challenges. Me and my shifter cart, and Jeff and his lately in his he's running Corvettes, he's running minis, he's running a lot of different things over the years, and now he's been dealing with. He's been part of the SCCA Foundation, part of the SCCA's the Street Survival program, as you can see they're sponsored on the car, and heavily now into the iRacing, as a lot of us have done. Turned inward and climbed into our rigs in our basements here and called up Ricmotech and said, "Hey, I need a rig. What can you sell me?" And that's where Jeff's turned to, as I've run against him a couple of times, and he's always fast, whether it's in analog world or virtual world.
Yeah, the virtual world has become very popular this year. It pretty much exploded in popularity, and it made people who used to race the real world get back to their old real-life buddies, and it's been absolutely crazy. Ooh, we got a little bit of contact. Bobby Charles being sent out a little bit wide. No action on that incident, as you can see Bobby Charles not happy with Arthur Chan's lapping techniques, as the Ferrari GTE and the Ferrari GT3 make contact, and the only way to tell these two cars apart is that red banner showing that it's a Ferrari GTE in the Ricmotech colors. As well, really the only difference that they have is the Ferrari GT3 less power, and it has traction control and braking assist, as the GTEs, they also have traction control, but not as much assisting as the GT3s do.
Yeah, you actually have to know how to brake if you're driving a GTE car. GT3s, you just mash that pedal to the floor and let the ABS do its job.
Yeah, those GT3 cars, I remember they're an absolute blast to drive, but when you get an absolute perfect braking feel, those GTEs become a new life of fresh air. As we got about 4 between these two for 8th. Kernal look down the inside of Daniel Tony. He's sending it down the Sandpost straight into turn 1, and he makes that move stick. Ferrari on Ferrari, pretty much an entire Ferrari field, except for the Mercedes of Jeff Jacobs and Derek Holland.
Yeah, it's just 1 or 2 Porsches out there, and otherwise not much. It's a whole lot of Ferraris.
Oh, they're the GTEs.
Yeah, a lot of prancing horse here though as well here at Lime Rock. But this place, there's some grooves around this track, and if you watch them, going through 1, if you can get the right side tires up just on that curb on the inside, you can really carry a ton more speed. And you saw him coming into 1 and do that, make that car stick. It's just ride that groove. Same thing here going through the downhill. If you can ride that groove and get those things just on that inside curbing like that, you just carry another 6-7 miles an hour over. If you just miss that curbing by a foot, push you out in the grass like we've seen a few drivers do.
Yeah, initial D strategy is hooking the curb and letting that mechanical grip take on a new life of its own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Got a battle for second. The GTEs, Robert Hartley trying to get past Tyler Gilemetti.
The mixing of classes here, just watching the passes between the lap traffic just makes it so much more interesting to go side by side, coming around the West Bend and then down the hill. That's the real challenge here, is just keeping your nose clean while going around lap traffic, or keeping your nose clean as the GT3 car, watching your mirrors all the way around. It just makes it so tough to not lose your pace trying to catch the car who's in front of you.
Look at. Elvis Rankin absolutely on a tear day. 4 seconds, almost going on 5 seconds right now, leading on Cameron Martineau. And, well, when you're all by yourself right now, I think he's found that rare golden gem here at Lime Rock Park, a thing called open track.
Yeah, if you're lucky enough to get that and have no one around you for a while, you can really put in some good laps. And in an endurance format like this, that just means everything.
Indeed, Cameron Martineau having to deal with Mike Dam closing the door on him. Little bit of affecting his entry into turn 1, but he's looking forward to our pit stop strategy, which, remember, that is going to open up in about 10 laps for our GT3 drivers. They're looking at the end of lap 30. Our GTEs looking at the end of lap 29 for their first pit stops. As the field is pretty much spread out in our GTE class as well as our GT3s, I would say now is a good time to bring up the dancing M&Ms of Doom. Also known as the track map, to show you where everyone is out here. And we do have a little bit of pack right here that we're looking at right now. Hartley on Munoz. Hartley just getting past that Ferrari and that beautiful Orion Racing's 3 BMW. So he's trying to chase down Travis Schwenke and stay ahead of the only driver in the GTE field to make a move on position to be Arthur Chan right behind him. And Arthur, ooh, gets stopped by Munoz. That's going to allow that gap of his to rise up. And I don't know if, Larry, have you ever had experience around Lima Park in real life?
No, and have not had the chance to get up there in real life. I've heard a lot of folks that have had that, especially with the latest scan or the latest update of Lime Rock and iRacing, really does represent what the real track is like, but I've not had the chance personally to get out there in the analog world.
When I raced here, it was very, very crazy, and it was a massive feeling. Sure, I was only about 17 when I first came here, but when I was running here in that Skippy, I did the chicane layout, and oh, we got a car off. That's Bobby Childs off again. And that is allowing Tony Hernan to jump up into 7th place. Tony is on a tear right now. But yeah, going up that chicane and that jump area, the driving coach that there was just saying, keep your wheels straight when you go over that hump, because if it's not the little grip that you have going over that will catch and you'll be sent into the wall. And I felt some of the scariest wiggles I've ever had in a car, and come from a guy that did a lot of Baja racing, that's worrisome.
I can imagine. I've been out to Grattan Racetrack out here in West Michigan, and I've seen the yump on the back straight there. It's the same kind of ordeal where the idea there, it's not so much of a bend coming up to it, but it's certainly one of those where as soon as the wheels touch down, you're kind of hitting the brakes. Same kind of a feel where you just sort of I have the control of gravity at that point. Yeah, there's some of those times where it just kind of freaks you out of going, well, at some point physics needs to take over. You just want to make sure you're more in control, but usually physics is going to win out.
Oh, Daniel and Thorman. Well, on that outside line, Daniel got out to the grass, had to get off the throttle with Thorman using that track position of his to just sneak by and into 9th place. What a move by the DTD driver. After that start of his, is back up into 9th place. So Chris Thorman, that's a recovery drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and again, this is more of a marathon than a sprint. So, even if off in turn 1, on lap 1, doesn't mean your race is over. You just keep chugging away and just don't get caught behind anybody for too many laps. So that's the kind of move you got to make when somebody gives you a little bit of room. You got to take it.
Indeed. You definitely want all the room that you can get, especially here at Lima Park, where it's pretty much too wide of a few cars throughout the entire time. If you're in a Skippy, about 5 wide, but we aren't racing these things. Travis Schwenke making a move on Brooks. So they continue to stay in 2nd place, trying to pull away from Hartley as they're dealing with Brooks. They had to deal it through that entire first corner as they head into left-hander. But it looks like Schwenke might be using these lap cars to his advantage, but outside of the lap cars, Robert Hartley is looking a little bit quicker than Travis Schwenke. And, I can see why. Look at the front left of Travis Schwenke's car. I'm seeing a little bit of damage right there.
He might have a little bit. Could be slowing him up, especially around some of these, a lot of these right-handers feel a little bit of damage on that left front.
Yeah, you can see it definitely on the straight. That front left-hand splitter bumped up hard. Might have hit one of those turtle shells right there as we're catching up to Elvis Rankin trying to make a lapping move on Russ Ruddick. But Elvis Rankin is off the track.
Oh! It's going to tighten things up a little bit.
As well as Ruddick. Rankin had to go around the outside and also had to go around the outside, just caught the grass in a big slide through there. And I know we unfortunately lost our driver cameras, but he's probably going to be shaking his head after that. Still stays in the lead by 2 seconds now.
That's a heck of a save, actually, is what that was. To keep the car pointing straight, really only lost about 3 seconds doing that. That was impressive.
Indeed, it was impressive. So Elvis Rankin, very talented at saving the car, stays in the lead, and Cameron Martineau might have a little bit of a mental advantage over Elvis Rankin. I know a few drivers, if you make a mistake, you're going to start being a little bit more cautious in there.
Yep. Well, you were talking about that battle here of Schwenke and Hartley. And so there you go. It's now down to just a little over half a second.
Half a second. Car does separate them. The Ferrari versus the BMW. There's a Ferrari GT3 right behind him of Diolio. So Hartley does have to deal with him, and there he goes.
Yeah,
here we go.
Yeah, Hartley just looking really quick right now, and you can just see him coming up right up on him, coming out of that turn 2, the second half of Big Ben there, and Schwenke's just going to be a sitting duck. He's going to have to make that BMW even wider than it really is, and we all know that's one of the widest cars, I think, in iRacing platform.
The iRacing platform and the real world, as Hartley is going to be maximizing these turns to his advantage. I'm expecting Hartley to maximize this final corner a lot to try to get a great run down the straight, because that BMW ahead of him does have damage, and down that straight it's going to be very down on power. And here comes Hartley on Schwenke. Schwenke's going to continue to have that, but look how much time he's already gained going into going down that straight, about 2/10. But oh no, Hartley goes wide through turn 1, avoids the inside line, and this is allowing Arthur Chan to catch up. We got a 3-way fight for second now.
Yeah, and I think this is Schwenke off the pace. Hartley can't quite make the pass, and this is what's going to happen. This goes on long enough, and McDonald's, she's going to be right up there as well, and this could end up being a 4-car battle, depending on how long it takes Hartley and Chan to get by Schwenke.
Now, there is
a pass.
It is a very tough place to pass, probably the toughest track to pass in all of the world, as I might say, even tougher than F1 cars trying to pass at Barcelona. How to get that dig in there. But it is incredibly difficult to pass. Very small track, very tight corners, and very fast corners as Travis Schwenke goes down the inside of Daniels, and Daniels is not going to... Oh, nope, he does impede this fight just a little bit. Stays on the outside, just forcing that outside turn into the inside, and this is allowing Hartley, and oh no, Arthur Chan's around.
Oh, he was right there in the tail of that too.
Just tired, just a little bit of grass, about an inch of grass on that.
The same thing Elvis Rankin did a couple laps ago, right? And he just, unfortunately, he went all the way around where Elvis was able to kind of keep himself pointed the right way and kept on going. Unfortunately, Arthur not able to do the same. He got himself around and had to recover the slow way.
Yeah, when he hit a little bit of that grass, it just sends the car around, and you just start just not really feeling it. As Jeff Jacobs and Tyler Gilmetti fighting with each other. Jeff on the inside, then on the outside. There's still wheel, but Jeff Jacobs still holds on to 4th place. Actually, no, he made that move up for 4th place as Tyler had to hold him off, but they've been battling each other for 4th a lot. Tyler, though, looking a little bit snappy at that Mercedes coming out of the chicanes. And Jeff Jacobs driving that, unicorn Mercedes, as it looks like. And we got a car off at turn 1. Is that Hartley? No, it's Munoz. Munoz is off the track. Munoz is off at turn 1, and here comes Jeff Jacobs. Jeff Jacobs is going to go around the outside as well as Tyler Gilmenti, and now Jeff Jacobs is in 3rd.
Wow, capitalizing on Munoz, struggling to get the car back underway, right in the middle of all that. Jeff Jacobs says, I'll take that spot, thank you very much.
Yeah, I saw the red dot on our mini-map, and it was a white-red dot, so immediately I thought it was Hartley, but then I looked at the other red dot, it was Munoz, and here's how that happened. Daniel Munoz got up onto the curb, and then a big slide, took it onto 2 wheels, came back on track, got a little bit of a lick from looks like that was a Mercedes.
Oh.
Is that Derek Holland? But that has allowed Jeff Jacobs to go up into 3rd place now.
Yeah, talk about right place, right time for Jacobs. And now he's just got this train behind him.
Yeah, that Gator, the Florida Gator, Jeff Jacobs up into 3rd. And he's looking at a possible podium as our fuel window our pit stop window has opened up for our GTE cars. We'll see he'll be the first of those takers. Next, in 2 laps, our GT3s are going to have that fuel window open up. And I think we might see some of these guys that are struggling to get past a few of these cars try to go into the pit lane.
Yeah, I would think once the GT3 window's open that you're going to see this train that starts with Jacobs and Gilmenti and Munoz and Ford and Cornette. That fivesome right there, that if you're 3, 4, 5 in that train when their window opens, they might be the first ones to pop in. But let's see how this goes. This is tough because tire wear starts to come in, the car starts sliding around a lot more, and it takes a lot of discipline to stay in this train, and especially if you're the one at the front being chased, to not leave an inch for anybody behind you, because that's about all there is right now between Jacobs and Gilmenti, right there between the bumper to bumper.
Yeah, we got a 6-car train, it looks like, going on right now in the GT3 class. And here comes Tyler making his move off the exit of the chicane, down the inside at the top of the hill. Tyler Gilmenti up into 3rd place. And now Jeff Jacobs defending from Daniel Munoz, who tried to do the same thing. But now that Mercedes power opening up, that Ferrari diving down low, trying to break the draft. Munoz on the bumper, sends it a late send heading into turn 1. Down the inside, Jeff Jacobs, a little bit of a bump right there. Side by side they go. Daniel Munoz up into 3rd.
And all this while, Schwenke's trying to get through this traffic.
Travis Schwenke is watching this. He's bumper to bumper with Jeff Jacobs right now. Come on, guys. In front of me, really? It has to be this time?
This might have been a good time to pit, actually, in that GTE
Absolutely.
car.
And, big smack of a few cars. It looks like Hartley might have gotten to Kevin Ford right there. And car 99 has been issued a warning for an unsafe entry. That's Jennifer McDonald. And she's had a rough race. And there goes Jeff Jacobs into the pit lane. Going to get some of that damage repaired. And might take some right side tires. Nope, left side tires.
That's what I would think around here, that if there's a place to take tires and just one side, this would be the place, considering it's primarily right-hand turns, so those left tires should take quite a beating.
Yeah, ignore me when I say right side tires, because I'm sometimes known for not knowing my left from rights.
Everyone in the audience knew exactly what you meant.
Okay, good. I've regained my trust in myself now. Thankfully, I know which way left and right is when I'm driving.
At least they don't ask you. There's no quiz at the end, so it's
good,
all right. As long as you can follow.
Oh, no, curb strike. Big double curb strike for Arthur. Not a little bit, a lot of it.
Wow.
He's got some damage on that front end now, and he got a little bit of airtime right there.
Wow. That's a lot of curves. Those sausage curves are just brutal on that chicane, the way they put that in here in this updated model at Lime Rock. Those things are just dangerous. Not my favorite layout to run. Personally, I love the classic with just the sweeper around there, which has that treacherous uphill. This chicane, that you'll just destroy a car if you hit those curves.
Now, unlike you, I love these chicanes. I love the chicanes layout, but then again, I'm crazy. I love running them in incredibly powerful cars with no brakes whatsoever, also known as a Australian V8. Which is, let me tell you, the weirdest experience, because you want to go full throttle and then you realize you shouldn't. Because once you do it, you're already at the end of the street.
Yeah, by the time you realize you're full throttle, it's like, where'd the brake go? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where's my braking bar? Oh, 100 meters before the 5. Got it. Because those V8s do not have any brakes, but have all the respect of those drivers because they're absolute legends right over there.
They are, yes. And they've earned that reputation, for sure.
Another fun car to run around here is probably the most classic car to run around here, the Skip Barber.
Oh, love running the Skip Barber around here. 95% full throttle. Little bit of brakes and lift into turn 1. Little lift for turn 2, turn 3, the left-hander. Maybe a little lift if you're not using the chicanes. A little lift for the uphill.
Jump.
A little lift for the west bend. And that's about it.
Anthony Crenard and Kevin Ford are off the track. And full course yellow has been called. The pits are closed. We got a safety car out, and this is what caused it. Kevin Ford, there's an incident in front of him. There's a car. Oh my God, Jeff Jacobs is on his roof and been pile drived, sent end over end. He was sitting in the middle of the course, and Kevin Ford put him through the ringer right there and set Kevin Ford flying as we got our second safety car of the season. And this is what happens to Jeff Jacobs, who gets hooked by Tyler Gilmet and is ended up on his roof. And here comes Kevin Ford. Oh my goodness.
That is one wild ride coming down the downhill there. Jeff Jacobs just looking up at the pavement. And suddenly he was looking up at the sky and the grass, And now, like you said at the beginning, this might have been the place where we would see another full course caution. Here we go.
Yeah, you can hear race control saying, remain at speed. Pits are still closed. They're waiting for everyone to go up. And they are saying the turn 4. This is absolutely... as we are waiting for everyone to get everything underway, you're here watching the Ricmotech GT Challenge presented by Proformer Elite Texas Graphics. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to the Ricmotech GT Challenge presented by Proformer Elite Texas Graphics. Safety car is out here at Lime Rock Park. The pits are still closed as the field is getting all lined up and ready to go after a monumental crash in the final quarter involving Jeff Jacobs on his roof with another one of the Ferraris. I believe that was Tyler Giometti just getting side by side as we are still listening to our race control give out instructions for people as these guys are still making their way around here very safely. But the second time of the series of this season that a safety car has been called.
Yeah, and this place being just so tightly packed, things were starting to get a little bit crazy as things were getting mixed up there. And seeing a car up on its roof as traffic was coming down the hill like that and kind of into a blind corner, probably the right call. The timing of it's interesting because we're getting right here close to the halfway mark on the time.
Pits are open.
Yep, pits are open for everybody, so this makes it a real interesting
For the-
time to throw the full course caution.
Yeah, for the GTEs, as the GT3s are staying out right now, you don't want a absolute catastrophically crowded pit lane. So we're going to have our first pit lane battle coming up because Mike Dam, Travis Schwenke, Hartley, Collins, Feige, Chan, and McDonald, they're all there. Who's going to short pit? Who's going to take tires? Who's going to not? We're going to watch out, and I really wish iRacing had animated pit crews for all these guys because it would just be an absolute battle going into there. And getting a good exit and taking the lead on the pit road is going to be George Feige in that Ford. Followed by Travis Schwenke, Mike Dam, Orion Collins, Hartley, Chan, and McDonald. The Ford is leading the race.
The Ford's got the fastest pit crew around.
Well, they definitely pulled in the NASCAR, one of their NASCAR crews for this race, and it is certainly paying off. George Feige leads this race under caution in the GTE, followed by Travis Schwenke. Mike Dam, our pole sitter, falls down to third. Orion Collins in fourth, followed by Hartley, Chan, and McDonald. And guess what? That's part one of part two of Pit Stop Wars here on Apex Racing TV.
Tell you what, there's something about Ford, the way they built that car for 24-hour races and saying, well, yeah, we're going to make this thing sip fuel, and I suspect his fuel refill was a little quicker than everybody else's.
And the pit stop times, I'm pretty sure somebody did take tires. Robert Hartley probably did. And now we saw an excellent fight in the GTEs. We'll see if these guys do the same in the GT3s. GT3s, all these guys have pit speed limiters. So who's going to have the best entry into there? Well, yeah, all these cars have pit speed limiters, what we'll talk about. But a little bit of a break for Elvis Rankin as they all go into the pit stop. Let's see who's going to win this race off pit road in our GT3 category. And probably the biggest one is that fuel gauge. And Elvis Rankin, he's going to be not even challenged at all as he leads this race off pit road. But Cameron Martineau sits in second now. Chris Thorman jumps up into third. What a race it has been for Chris Thorman. Started this race completely around and back up into third place. Anthony Kernan, Tyler Giamatti, Daniel Munoz, Bobby Childs, Russ Ruddock, Steve Daniels. Your race off of pit road finishers, as I believe these guys are going to get back to the lead of the Saints car, being led by the GT3 of the 88. Actually, that's Bobby Childs leading out this field right now, and Bobby Childs says he's lapped down. They have to go into the pits. As we're still waiting for the race control to get everything settled. And have you ever, I had recent experience being in the States car at a event at Circuit of the Americas, and the amount of communication between race control, the States car driver, and the field, it is a lot of information. And if you think driving at top skill takes a lot of concentration, try driving a safety car at speed with a bunch of Formula cars behind you and just talking to race control at each corner and saying track conditions, how's everyone doing, where's the field at, is everyone bunched up, and all that stuff. Can't get any word of small talk in there.
It is impressive. I have been on the radio channels, the Belle Isle Grand Prix for the IndyCar, for the old American Le Mans Series races, and hearing the radio chatter there, just working working as far as the safety crew there. But being out on the track, like you say, as a safety car driver, trying to keep speed, as you know, you've got the cars behind you, trying to keep heat in their tires, and you're in a touring car and they're in a Formula car. I can't imagine the challenge of that driver trying to listen and trying to pay attention as well as trying to keep up speed. It's got to be quite the concentration.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Well, they're separating the fields right now, going for our second restart of the day. 38 minutes into the 75-minute race. George Feige in that 4GT for Phoenix Racing leads out the field, followed by Travis Schwenke and Mike Dam, as we're back green here at Lime Rock Park.
Oh, the Ford. Who would have thought?
I don't think anybody had George Feige leading this race at any point, and I'm gonna make a bet here. Mike Dam and Travis Schwenk are going to be very aggressive on this restart because if they reach traffic and George Feike is still in the lead, that's the race. As the GT3s are making their moves, and we already got moves down the inside. Gerald Giamatti around the outside trying to hold it, but Daniel Munoz getting his elbows out right now. They're both being held off to the curbs, and Tyler holds that off for 5th place, and a little bit of a damage from Munoz as here comes Feike holding around that outside. Schwenke tries to hold it down to the inside, coming out of the chicanes, but that Ford's still holding strong. One of the lowest profile GTEs against the highest profile GTEs. It looks like a David versus Goliath situation. George Feike, Travis Schwenke racing down the Sandpost straight, heading into turn 1.
And he's doing everything he can to hold off those big BMWs and Porsches behind him, but at some point here, you got to figure Schwenke and Dam are going to have to make a move. But like I said, this is what happens in this place.
It's incredibly hard to make a move here. So this race is definitely in Feike's favor if he just keeps it consistent and if Schwenke doesn't try anything absolutely monumentally crazy. That Ford is very nippy off the boards. And oh no!
There's the mistake.
Around! Contact and Mike Dams and Orion Collins are in the lead.
Wow, that was big.
Feike got a little bit loose. Got a little bit out of sequence going into the chicane, got into the grass, went around, and he collected Schwenke with him. There's the curb hit, and Schwenke just went around.
He cut a curb, and it looked like Schwenke caught a little bit of Feike as they went through together.
I think Mike Dam has that, and now Orion Collins leads this race in this Porsche.
Yeah, Collins and Dam both just sort of kind of one of those shut your eyes and aim for the smoke and hope you come to the other side for both Collins and Dam, and they did.
Well, I did say if nothing crazy happened, Feike would be in this lead. Well, unfortunately, as soon as I saw that, I commented in curse, I am so sorry about that. Something crazy just did happen, and now Feike is down into 7th. And, it's just a small error. You know you have to keep all the faster guys behind you, and just waiting to catch up that lap field, but unfortunately it's just not going to be there for him. And speaking of the GT3s, we're go on to Tony Kernan as he's dancing on the gearbox of Chris Thorman, who's up into 3rd. Kernan tries to look down the inside. Thorman blocks him off right there at the top of the hill. Kevin Ford is just watching this fight as he's a lap down.
Yeah, Thorman did not get the restart I think he was hoping for.
And, he's still struggling with the off tracks. And Thorman goes off, and here comes Kernan down the inside. Kernan's up into 3rd.
Yeah, Thorman's still struggling to keep up. Going to keep up with Rankin and Martineau here, but he's struggling. These restarts are not his favorite.
Yeah, these restarts are a bit of a sour thing because it's the most high-pressure part of the race. You got cars as close as possible, and this is the best part of a race to make a move outside of tire strategy, especially outside of a fuel strategy, especially at a track like this. Now, as Orion Collins now leads this race ahead of Mike Dam and Robert Hartley. We started this race in 3rd, fell back just a little bit, but he's back in 3rd now. Mike Dam, though, trying to catch up, but Orion Collins up 5 spots. He's had a great race today, and he had an amazing pit stop as well.
Yeah, and again, that pit stop just came down to if you can get out of there quickly and get yourself up in the right order, maybe you add a shot and the way things went. If you could have avoided the Feike and Schwenke incident, you're then with this front pack. But if you couldn't, it's a pretty big gap there. But this race here, this top 3, here comes the move.
Mike Dam dives down low on Orion Collins. Collins holding around the outside, but Dam hooks that curb just a little bit, allowing all the weight transfer to go very smoothly. Mike Dam down the inside heads into the lead here at Lime Rock Park.
That inside line has got so much grip, and if as Collins went a little bit wide there, Dam was able to just kind of stick his nose right down there and hold on to that grip. But it's not over, and this is just going to keep on going if Collins can get good runs off of this chicane.
Oh no, Collins very off the chicane, very off speed, as now Hartley dancing on the gearbox of that Porsche. And those Porsches are 10 kilograms heavier in their BOP adjustment, their Ricmotech BOP adjustment, not iRacing BOP adjustment for this round.
Yep, I suspect the Hartley's going to want to get by. He does not want to see Dam get any further away. He's going to lose his patience here pretty quick.
And Collins just needs to keep his eyes out of the mirror right now. He'll take this corner just like he usually do, but he's going defensive. Pulling down this inside line. Oh, man, almost side by side. Entering that curb as Hartley broke early. Didn't even want to try that. And now this is allowing Arthur Chan. We've seen Chan get a little bit aggressive, a little bit of elbows out when making his overtake. So we might see a surprise move from Arthur Chan very soon as Hartley is pressuring Collins all the way down to the pit wall, then back wide again as they head into turn 1. This is a great racing here at Lime Rock Park between these two GTEs.
Yeah, Chan, remember, he had that big, right in this spot of the track, put the tire in the grass with the big spin, and so with the whole full course yellow, was able to get himself back up into this mix. And here he is, fighting for a podium here in GTE.
Hartley, bit of a wiggle as they head into the no-name straight, which is not really a straight. It's treated like a straight in every car, though, because it's just a small curve. And there you go, but there's really no name for it.
Yeah, I think Hartley's going to get himself a run. If he can get himself a good, solid run through the downhill and do the same thing that Dam did, get alongside, but look at Collins here trying to make sure he blocks, really, defend that inside.
Yeah, you definitely want to hold that inside line around here because that's just the best place to go as that BMW, as we got a penalty for a car being assessed. Car number 1, Elvis Rankin, has got a drive-through penalty. The Wonder Kid, Elvis Rankin, he's got an instant responsibility, and oh my goodness, look at the front nose of that Ferrari.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge for the point standings. That's huge for this race result if he's got to do a drive-through in this race.
He's leading the points by 2 at the start, and he's got a drive-through penalty. He's not allowed to make a stop to repair that damage as well. And this is massive for the point standings because not a lot of points separate Elvis Rankin from Cameron Martineau. Only just 2 points separate them. Cameron is sitting right behind him in second place, and first place gets 35 points, second place 32. Elvis Rankin is going to be serving his pit lane penalty right now. They do have a gap to the field behind them, but where is Elvis Rankin going to come out? Is he going to come out in second place? Either way, he will lose the championship lead if this stays official. Elvis Rankin coming out of the pits in 7th place. Sixth place. He comes in front of 7th place. A big bunch up right there. But Elvis Rankin will be scoring 25 points this lap, 10 points lower than Cameron Martin. We got a chance of the championship lead here in the Ricmotech GT3 series. Oh my goodness.
That is huge. That's absolutely huge too. The championship's huge for this race result. And Cameron Martineau, as soon as he saw that, knew that he could kind of back off a little bit, didn't need to keep the pressure on, at least in that moment. What he needs to know now is he just has to put his head down while he's got some clear track and take advantage of it before he gets into any sort of traffic. And hope
the big
that Rankin hits traffic.
And the big question is, why did Elvis Rankin get that drive through? We saw the massive damage on the nose, and there's a massive gap to the rest of the field. Was there a little bit of trickery? Was there a little bit of an incident between Elvis Rankin and another car on that restart when everyone was bunched up together? Because first and second were long gone for the rest of the field. So we're going to try to find that replay for you, but I have a feeling it might have happened earlier on when we were watching the GTEs go at each other.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it as well. It looks like it was Tyler Gillemets he had gotten tangled with at some point as there was an incident that was being investigated. So I don't know if that's the one, but the impact is going to be hurt for a while. But he's 15 seconds back. 15 seconds in about 25 minutes. Is it possible? Maybe. Depends on how much traffic the Cameron Martineau runs into.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be very interested to find this. I'm looking at Daniel Munoz now, and he's got some damage on the rear end. Was he the unfortunate recipient of that incident? As they're going side by side with Tyler Gillemets. Side by side still through the left hand. Oh, no, around and upside down. He goes Daniel Munoz. Tyler is off as well. Elvis Rankin sneaks up into 4th now. And everything that needs to happen for Elvis is happening right now. And Daniel Munoz gets towed to the pits. Elvis Rankin back into 4th place. Now sitting at 28 points now. So he's lowering that big hit he will take in the championship standings. That he does have to lead by 2 now. But he will be losing 7 points, so he'll be down by 5 points at the end of this race. If it ended right now, as Hartley goes off the track around the outside of Daniel, and so our race control, they've certainly been busy today. And behind him,
the stewards are definitely busy. They're looking at a lot of things right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep watching that gap there of Elvis Rankin. He's 15, about 16 seconds overall back. So he's got a bit of a gap here he's got to make up on Cameron. Just going to keep an eye on that gap and see if he can close some of that up. 25 minutes is not impossible, especially with traffic. Anything can happen. With about 25 minutes, 15 seconds, so he's got to be doing this.
Oh my. Collins flashing lights. He is incredibly hesitant right now, and he needs to get the elbows out and get very aggressive because Hartley is right there. Hartley trying to hold it around the outside. Collins can't get around this Ferrari of Russ Ruddock as these two GTEs fighting out for 2nd place right now. Collins dives down the inside. Big locker for the Porsche. Hartley takes evasive action, goes through the middle of that chaos, but Collins, Hartley battling out for 2nd place in the GTEs. And Arthur Chad is just licking his lips. He wants to get through, but he's stuck behind that Ferrari GT3.
Yeah, this is what happens, traffic management, right? Just watching him, just like you said, he was just so itching to get past that GT3. When Collins finally gets by and he gets that brake lockup, that's just standard Porsche stuff.
Yeah, it's standard Porsche stuff. Travis Schwenke making a move as well on Russ Ruddock to traffic management there, and this is getting absolutely chaotic in the GTE field as Orion Collins goes down low. Hartley tries to stay with them as we stay still 2nd and 3rd as the field is so hard to pass around here between these Porsches and BMWs. This is looking like a absolute fight for the final minutes of this race.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to afford to even miss one apex. Although this section of the track, it does look like the Porsche's got a little bit of advantage, or maybe Collins is just a little bit better coming off of the turn 3 bend up toward there. But he's opened up just a little bit of a gap. Then he tends to lose the gap going through the downhill sections.
As Hartley go back to him as he's trying to chase down Collins. A little bit of a bad exit right there. Tower Geomet staying right there. A little bit of a closed door for that from Orion Collins, trying to seize all the track, but oh, this is going to be a very interesting fight indeed between these two.
And meanwhile, Chan is just kind of watching him, but I think he's struggling to kind of keep up with them. He's hoping the two of them tangle a little bit and give him a shot, while Schwenke's right on Chan's tail right now.
And we got a penalty for car number 5, Tyler Gilmet. He's behind Elvis Rankin, so he'll be receiving the 2nd drive-through penalty of this race. And oh no, I hope he doesn't go for this penalty right now. And I hope he's letting Arthur Chan know that Travis Rankin know that he's going on to the inside. And luckily he goes around the outside and, well, doesn't come across the nose, because we've all seen that horror story, right? When car goes down the inside, car goes into bits, hooks them, and chaos. And 1-1-1 incident limit violation drive-through penalty, and that's for Daniel Munoz.
Oh, yeah, it's the kind of place that happens. A lot of contact here, a lot of little off tracks. They do have a limit in these races.
Yep, 21x is the limit here for the Ricmotech GT Challenge Series around Lime Rock Park. And that is the reason why you don't want those overly aggressive drivers doing, getting the elbows out and ruining a few people's races. And Diolio trying to make a move on running, and now instead of making the move, he gets the move made on him as Daniel gets on it, but now the switchback to Olio. Looking down low, and here comes Brooks as well. We got a three-way fight for 9th place. Yolio sends it down low, but Daniel holds it around the outside, as Steve Daniel still holding it around the outside. It's going to come back out. It's going to be a race off this corner and into the only left-hander, and a little bit of switch, a little bit of a closed door right there, and a butt from Lusky Delio, and Steve Daniel holds it for 9th.
Yeah, that's that. You can't make the pass as long as you can hold that inside line, but you got a little bit of a bump coming out of there just to kind of remind them that, hey, we got to get going now. And here's another bump coming up the hill.
Oh, Luis Guidiolio is feeling the flames of war right now. Going down low, hits that curb again, and goes way off track. Both of them going off track, and this is great if you're Brooks, because you really want to go, but Bobby Childs is saying, stop it right now. I need to get past you. I'm trying to chase out Elvis Rankin.
You ever watch Ferrari Challenge races?
Oh, I love watching Ferrari Challenge races.
It's kind of what this looks like right about now, as you got drivers just half desperate. So you get all Ferraris out there right now, trying to make any move that they can to get on by. This is pretty exciting here.
I've been trying to avoid this entire season making a Ferrari Challenge joke.
I had to break it in for you. It's not a joke.
Not a joke. It's actually a good statement.
It's a lot of jokes around Ferrari Challenge. We'll leave those for another day.
Yeah. Ferrari GT3 is probably the most raced GT3, even though it's being the most expensive GT3 out on the market. Probably shows something about their performance.
Absolutely.
Or the factory standards.
Ready. Yeah. Always race
Porsche.
ready.
Here comes Delolio on Daniels, and Luis K. Delio back into 9th, the 036. Oh, a few questionable bumps and bruises there, but hey, when push comes to shove, you gotta shove back. Just hopefully you don't shove them down a set of stairs.
Yeah, they're surviving, still rolling. No harm, no foul.
And speaking of surviving, Elvis Rankin, he's up in 3rd.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's still in this. He's up on a podium spot.
Looks down low, though. Thorman on Rankin. Thorman and Rankin, they make a little bit of Ferrari Challenge contact right there. And Rankin, well, actually, nope, that was not Thorman at all. That was a Ferrari GTE disguising itself as a GT3 because I'm colorblind some way.
That's what happens. These Ferraris, you know. They all look the same when you can't tell green from red.
And we still don't know why Elvis Rankin got that drive-through penalty. We do know it was for incident responsibility, but the replay of that incident still cannot be found since I don't think either of the cars went off track.
Well, we'll just have to let them assume that they know what they did, and it all worked out for the correctness.
Yeah, we do know the race control here is very on top of things.
Yeah.
And we do trust their word. They are actual responsible officials, and they're still trying to find it. As Rankin is behind Kernan.
Yep, he's going to try to pick up another spot here.
Yeah, Tony has got to be on his toes right now. As here comes Rankin, just trying to find any weakness on Tony Kernan. He does have a lot of that damage on the front end, but the front end damage is not going to be affecting him here.
And he's going to have that GTE car going by. Both of them probably here on this front straight. I'll pick them off one at a time. She goes on through in one, but she's not trying to interrupt the battle, but, you know, she's got her own race to worry about. So she's got to get on through and let these two GT3s figure it out. And the GT3 resumes. Yeah, this is the run Elvis wants. Through the downhill, on his bumper, hooked to him like a trailer, and this is going to be over before they get to pit exit. He'll have the inside if he's able to get it.
Rankin's locked in. He's locked and loaded. Looking for second, trying to save that P1 spot, but it is well defended by Kernot. He's all over the curbs, but he's getting a little bit of a gap right now. But as they head into the left-hander, can Rankin hold it around the outside? They're bumping and rubbing against each other, and a little bit of space is left right there. Elvis Rankin back down low, and oh no, around is Kernot!
Wow.
Kernot is back on track. We might see another penalty for that.
You know, I actually think he might have left him enough room. I'd love to see replay that, but I thought he might have left him a car width on that outside, and he had the inside line going into that right-hander. But that was some good racing right up until the moment of contact.
No, Kernot's got damage too, and Rankin, he hits the curb,
he does
and
slide.
he does get it back out there.
He did. He pushed real wide here and really did not give him that much room. No, and unfortunately for
Of the little room
Tony.
available, there is. Yeah, I can't find a way that Rankin does not get a penalty right there. As race control is reviewing that incident once more, and this is definitely not what Elvis Rankin wants today. Finally gets back up into second place, and that happens.
Yeah, we'll see what race control says, but it was great racing. If they were able to hold it together and continue that side by side, I'm sure it would have continued on for several more laps.
Yeah, and I know this is kind of feel like F1 where drivers are getting penalties left and right, and we don't know for some reason why. But, ooh, Luis Gideolio is off the track now. Here's a replay of that incident. So you head into turn one. Yeah, it's just too fast into there. Caught a bit of the grass back tire. Around he goes. Ooh, that's a scary spot to be stopped at.
Be looking at everybody coming at you. Oof.
Mike Dam. Well, he's putting the GTE class feel through his paces. Might not have the fastest pit stop, but he certainly had he certainly has the fastest race pace. Pole sitter, fastest lap holder, traffic management genius.
Yeah, once he was able to clear by that the Schwenke and Fike incident there in the chicane, he's done nothing but turn his mirrors down, as they say, and just get through traffic and turn laps. And you look at that gap there of almost 8 seconds. He's done quite the work here to build this lead, and with less than 15 minutes to go, he just wants to bring it home. But Cameron Martineau is really not slowing down by any means. You look at the gap from he to Elvis Rankin, it has not really changed. Cameron's really maintained his pace.
Oh no, Elvis Rankin just issued another drive-through penalty. That's dagger heart right there. Second drive-through penalty for Elvis Rankin. And this is not what Rankin needs. Finally got back up to he checks out the cone too. He's not happy.
Yeah, he had to anticipate this one as well, as we saw in that replay. You know, he took the dive bomb inside, but he just unfortunately slid the car out, did not leave enough room in that outside. And when you're side by side like that, you do have that responsibility. But it's all right. He'll fall down a couple more spots.
No, he's going to come back up in third place. There was enough gap between them that Elvis Rankin just lost one spot, so he's going to come back out in third place. So it's not going to be as big of a dagger as we thought. It's just going to mean that 2-point lead of his is only going to fall about to 3 points, as he's going to be scoring 30 points instead of 35, as Martineau is going to be scoring that 35 points now, and, well, 5 minus 2, 3 points. There you go. So that 2-point gap we had at the top of the lead is now a 3-point gap, but now Cameron Martineau leads the GT3 championship.
Cameron just continuing to do that. I'm sure he knows what's going on behind him. He's seeing the notices as well, and he just want to work through traffic. And Elvis still has to worry about finishing this race with the damage that he's got on that race car.
Mike Dam, another fast lap in the race, 47.85.
Now qualifying times here on tires that have got about almost 30 laps on them. That's impressive.
We're looking back at Arthur Chan and Travis Schwenke now in the battle for 4th place. So trying to chase down a Ryan Collins, but he's not there.
I don't think these guys took tires. He's probably got 73 laps on those tires, doesn't he?
Well, Arthur Chant had the second longest pit stop. The person at the longest pit stop was Robert Hartley, who's currently in second.
Okay.
Hartley might have had some tires on him.
Okay. They might have taken maybe 2 or maybe 4.
So we have information from a driver. The incident that Elvis Rankin got was damage under caution. He hit another car under caution, which caused him to get that penalty, which is why we can't find it, because it was a under caution incident.
Interesting. Okay.
Now,
that'll do it.
Some people be up in arms. Well, you should be just giving me a post-race penalty for that, but you know, we don't issue those here. The penalty that is assigned by Ricmotech is a drive-through penalty or a disqualification from the race.
That's the rules they've set. It's the rules they're going to play by. Correct?
Yes, I've been in a few incidents in the USF 2000 series where there are rules. I'm just like, well, why that? But you don't argue with the race director, or they'll throw you out of the Grand Prix, or they'll pull you out back and you have a fist fight with them.
That's exactly first thing you learn as a race car owner, driver, whoever is the last person you argue with is the steward.
With the race. Especially that steward is your old driving coach. Or Scott Goodyear.
Oh, good old Scott. All right. We've still got a couple of battles out there. Arthur Chant is just hanging on there with Schwenke, just continuing to pressure him. See if Schwenke and the BMW Power has got anything down the front straight. If he can get a run off of the downhill right-hander. But the BMW Power should have the advantage. But then you're stuck with the weight of a BMW trying to break into turn 1. Even with that 10-kilogram penalty that the Ferraris carry, and that's just like eating a big turkey dinner on Thanksgiving. It doesn't really. I may think it's a lot, but I don't know that it's really that much on a Ferrari race car.
Travis Schwenke dancing on the bumper of Arthur Chant, still trying to get around that Ferrari, but look at the front of that BMW. We saw some damage on that BMW before, but it was just a little bit of damage. Now that BMW damage is lifted just a little bit, it's crunched in, and it looks like it has that flared nostrils looks like it's been through a 12-round boxing match. And it certainly has been a 12-round boxing match. 1 hour and 5 minutes have passed through. 10 minutes remain here at Lime Rock Park, and probably the most chaotic race I have seen in the Ricmotech GT Challenge series.
It has had a little bit of everything, hasn't it? We've had penalties, we've had safety cars, we've had spins, we've had recoveries, we've had incidents under caution. We've had just about everything in this race, and still about 8 minutes to go before it's all said and done.
Indeed, and this fight right here for third, the fight right here for fourth, we still don't know who's going to be on top of this. Is Schwenke just dancing with Chant, or is Chant driving his heart out? Oh, it is a hard-fought fight right here.
This is the point where Schwenke actually could just continue to pressure Chant and hope he makes a mistake. There's enough laps that you can do that, but you're going to get to within about 4 or 5 laps to go, and at some point you've just got to make that move. It's nice to say you finished 4th instead of 5th.
It is always better to say 4th instead of 5th, because 4th is better than 5th, but but hey, I do know one stat that I always love. A top 5 finish stat is always a good stat in my book.
It is.
Yeah, Schwenke, ooh, not the best chicanes as Chant starts to pull away through there, but coming out of the chicane, Chant's falling to Schwenke in that BMW Power. So that Ferrari does not have the weight penalty applied to it, unlike the GT3 counterpart.
Okay. Yeah, it just does not seem to do. The BMW is doing really well going around the west bend at the top of the hill and then through the downhill onto the front straight. But Travis is struggling a little bit through that chicane. If he could get through the chicane just once really cleanly and be on the bumper of that Ferrari as they come down the hill, he's got a shot to make the move. But that's what it takes around here, is you've got to hit this just so perfectly. Or hope there's a GT3 car in front of him.
Yeah, they are coming up onto some traffic. They're coming up onto Elvis Rankin. I don't know why my words did that. Actually, they're coming up onto Kernan right there. Kernan holding that outside line. And now we're going 3 wide down the San Posey straight. Here comes Travis Schwenke and Arthur Chan. Travis Schwenke gets up in the 4th place, and that is what they needed.
If you can't get a run off a corner you need, oh, then ask for the slower class to be in the right place at the right time for you. If you're Travis Schwenke, let's see now if Chan's got anything to counterattack.
Well, Chan needs to have the pace to counterattack on Schwenke, and it looks like he does have the pace, but it's this part right here that he's struggling with, and Schwenke struggles with that entrance right here. Here comes Arthur Chan on the fight back, looks down low, gets back behind Schwenke. He's looking for that move on the San Posey straight as they're coming up to the Ferrari of Elvis Rankin ahead of them.
You know Elvis is not going to make it easy to let them by when they catch him.
Even if he is in no man's land, we still know Elvis Rankin. He's not had a good day. 5 minutes remain here at Lime Rock Park as we watch this fight between Travis Schwenke and Arthur Chan in the fight for 4th in the Ricmotech GT Challenge Series presented by Pro Forma Elite Texas Graphics. And this race has been anything but conventional here today. Anything can happen. Also another fight in the GT3s is Luis K. Diolio and Scott Brooks. 2 Ferraris going at each other. And we got a car around. It is Russ Ruddick, who was around at the top of the hill. That flying Tortoise Motorsports car. Very peculiar spot to be off of.
Yeah, he went and called the tow. Had he not, he was going to have a pack coming around on that blind corner, but quickly calls himself a tow.
And we got a instant review. Car number 3. This is Robert Hartley on the inside, and oh no.
Well, if that's going to involve Hartley, that's going to be an interesting investigation.
Yeah, this might promote Orion Collins into 3rd, and Travis Schwenke. Nope, Orion Collins into 2nd, and Travis Schwenke might be fighting
We were just talking.
Podium.
We were just talking about how important and how nice it felt to finish 4th instead of 5th. That 4th might turn into a podium here if there's any sort of penalty, because if it's a drive-through, if they can squeeze one in, it is only about, what do we have, about 4 seconds. We have 4 seconds gap between them, but if there's no time to get a penalty in, they assign one. Again, it's only a 4-second gap between them. If it's even a 20-second penalty, it's enough to promote a couple of drivers up a couple of positions.
Indeed, and I know earlier we said we don't really put in time penalties, but at the end of the race, it's impossible to fit in such a penalty as a drive-through penalty into the race that we might see that come in, as Hartley is just separated by 1 second to Collins, and to Schwenke, it's about 5 seconds to Schwenke. We're going to see on what happens to Robert Hartley as he still makes his way through the field. 12 minutes past the hour. 3 minutes remain. I'm good at math, I swear. And is that Collins? Collins is off. Collins is off. Schwenke's in 3rd. Schwenke is in 3rd. Orion Collins is off the track.
Wow. Just like that, how quickly things change.
He didn't need the penalty, Schwenke, and it was a tap by... That was a tap by Chris Thorman. Oh my goodness. And Arthur Chan's made the move on Schwenke. Schwenke is around. Arthur Chan's in 3rd.
Oh no.
Oh no. Travis Schwenke has been struggling with the chicane section all day today. He goes around and he's got suspension damage. He's hitting that sausage curb hard, and he's got a crab going on in that car. And not the good type of Boston crab either.
Oh, that is tragic for Travis Schwenke.
Well, race control is going to have post-race penalties, I believe, after this race, because 2 minutes remaining in this race. Thorman, no action in the 95 into 3. No action for Robert R. Hartley's incident.
Okay.
So Hartley stays in second place. He can breathe a sigh of relief. But what's going to happen to Thorman?
Well, the one who really makes out right now so far is Arthur Chan, as he was able to get past Schwenke after Collins had the off, and now it's Arthur Chan who's sitting in that provisional podium spot, the spot that nobody seems to want but everybody wants.
Yeah, definitely. How many chances we just had for position for third place?
There's been, I think, 4 different people in that spot in the last 3 laps, so we'll see if Arthur Chan can hang on to it for another lap and a half here.
Man, this race has been absolutely crazy. 30 seconds left, and we got a good battle right here between Luisky Deolio and Scott Brooks. And Deolio goes off the track as Thorman. I just saw him go off the track a little bit. His name went red for a second. I don't want to say this right now as we enter 10 seconds to go. Thorman is being caught by Elvis Rankin right now. And Lewinsky looks to that outside line. There's Thorman and Elvis Rankin. Lewinsky Deolio bumper to bumper, front bumper to gearbox, as Lewinsky is just looking for any move that he can. They have Hartley right behind them, and they want to get this move done before that GTE.
Do we have a white flag? We should
White
be checker.
flag in the air. Checker flag is out. Mike Dam comes across the line as he takes the win in a dominating and probably the least incident-filled position of this race. Back into the battle for second. Elvis Rankin trying to stabilize that points lead at the championship lead of the GT3s. Dancing on the bumper of Chris Thorman, who's right ahead. Thorman at the front of Elvis Rankin. Elvis Rankin going all over the gearbox. It's a drag race to the line down the San Posey Straight. Rankin's going to lose the championship lead. 3 points separate them. Thorman into second. Thorman finishes second. Rankin in third. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. That
craziness has happened.
If that was a 65-minute race instead of a 75, it's a completely different finish from third place down in both classes. Just an insane finish in those last 6, 7, 8 laps. Incredible racing.
What really turned this race on its head was that safety car that involved Jeff Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
And they took the actual real-life safety car measures, make sure that all the lap cars are around, they get their wave around, they get into the pit stops. Bobby Childs was held out there for a long time. I'm not sure why that was there, but race control does race control does, and you don't fight it or else you get a boot to the face. But what a absolute race we had. That safety car seriously changed this race on the head. Mike Dam, Cameron Martineau are winners today. Yeah, as it's time to calm down for this break. We're going to be going for a small break, and we'll be right back for our podium finishers. And oh my goodness, Chris Thorman has got a 20-second time penalty. Elvis Rankin finishes in second right as we are about to go into break.
Wow, what news to announce right as checker flies, huh?
So, you want to know something? You want to know something? That 1 point separates Elvis Rankin and Cameron Martineau now in the lead of GT3. Well, as that excitement boils in your blood, we'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to the Ricmotech GT Challenge here at Lime Rock Park. After 75 crazy minutes, we are here with your race results. Mike Dam takes the win and probably the least challenged position of the track. And then it's just utter craziness. They're followed by Robert Hartley, Arthur Chan, Orion Collins, Jennifer McDonald, Travis Schwicke, and George Feike. And taking the win in the GT3s, Cameron Martineau, Elvis Rankin in a post-race second place, followed by, I don't know if Chris Thorman will have third. It might be Anthony Kernan, Chris Thorman, Taro Giometti, Kevin Ford, Steve Daniels, Scott Brooks, Lusky D'Olio, Derek Holland, Russ Ruddick, Bobby Childs, Daniel Munoz, and Jeff Jacobs completes the grid. But something that I do know, Cameron Martineau did win this race, and we have him with us right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 112 Cameron Martineau. Cameron, how was that race, man?
Hey guys, man, that was a pretty crazy race. Not gonna lie, I saw a lot of penalties being dished out, and you know that full course caution. That was a bit of a surprise.
Now you were around Elvis Rankin in that caution. Did you see what happened to bring out that first drive-through penalty?
Yeah, it was everyone got a little bit checked up going into the chicane there, and I think Elvis was just following. I don't know exactly who, but it looked like they were following a bit too close, and he just went into the back of the car in front of him is what it looked like. So tough luck for him for sure. He definitely we were both very close on pace. You know, from the caution on, it would have been a really, really good race between.
Well, you entered this race 2 points behind Elvis Rankin in the standings. You exit this race 1 point ahead of Elvis Rankin in the standings as you retake the lead of the GT3. How do you feel after that?
It felt really, really good. This was definitely, you know, the best outcome for me personally. You know, but I'm definitely not going to be sleeping on this. It's definitely going to be a fight going into Daytona, and we're both going to have to be on our A game. So I'm looking forward to a good, clean race between the two of us.
Well, the A game is certainly going to be brought at Daytona. 1 point separates you and Elvis Rankin. Before we let you go and hopefully start practicing for that championship fight, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to just give a big shout out to my team, Aquila Racing, and our manager, Frosty St. Clair, as well as our collaboration with Orion Race Team. You know, big help with those guys, especially, you know, preparing for these races. I also want to give a shout out to all the admins and Kevin Ford, Jeff Jacobs, Russ Ruddick, Bobby Childs. Those guys put in a lot of work and a lot of effort to, you know, make this whole series happen. Big shout out to you guys in the broadcast room. You guys put on a great show every single Monday, and I also want to give a shout out to all my friends and family who watch the broadcast here at home.
Well, congrats, Cameron. Congrats on the victory, and we'll see you next time in the GT Challenge as Larry is standing by with our GTE winner of Mike Dam.
Hey, Mike. Congratulations on the win there, Mike. I got to talk a little bit about after the restart there. You got shuffled back a little bit in the pits, and suddenly there was a Ford out in front. Not sure if you expected to see that in the pits there. What was your thought about strategies to try and get back out in front?
Yeah, that full course caution definitely put a little kink in the strategy there, but actually. In the pit lane, I actually stalled my car, so I was a couple seconds late getting going there. I must have forgot to keep the clutch in, but yeah, I got it fired up, got out in P3. Actually, the Ford has a really good gas mileage right now, so it wasn't really a surprise that Jordy got in front. But yeah, I just had to be patient, put my head down, and luckily I avoided the the incident there.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you saw the two of them starting to spin, and the right there at the chicane, were you just sort of aiming for daylight and hoping for the best, or and just trying to get on through?
Honestly, yeah, it's such a hard thing. I mean, it's hard to get through that chicane by yourself. I mean, so you see a car spinning, hitting the curb, and you're like, oh man, you're just hoping you're gonna make it through. You just gotta pick a spot and hope you make it.
Yeah. And this place with traffic, I know you guys have run these races at other tracks, but traffic tonight seemed to be more difficult than a lot of the other places. Tell me a little bit about managing traffic tonight here at this little track.
Yeah, I think the key for me was just being patient. Luckily enough for me, I didn't really have, for most of the race, I didn't have somebody right on my bumper, so I was able to take a little liberty and wait for the good spots. That was just key. I think it saves time in the end. You won't be making those mistakes where you go too deep into a corner that will really cost you time. It's better to wait it out, get a good run, and make it by. It's better for both parties.
Yeah, well, great win tonight. Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, just all the guys at my teammates at Orion. For practicing together, working on the strategy. We got 1 and 2 here today, so that's pretty good. I'd like to thank Kevin and Jeff, the admins here, for putting this league on. It's a fun time. Frank at Ricmotech for sponsoring us, and to you guys for broadcasting. Thank you.
Thanks. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
That was Mike Dam, and I think we're standing by with somebody that we really want to hear from today, who's probably had the most interesting race and the most crazy race from the start all the way to the finish. Safety car, that post race, he came home in second place, ladies and gentlemen. Elvis Rankin. Elvis, what was that race?
It was the hardest race I've ever driven in a long time. No, I just when the safety car came out, I knew that it was going to be all bunched up, and I don't even know what really happened with that first incident. I guess it was just a big stock up, and I just missed it. So I mean, I probably shouldn't have been in line with everybody. So that's on me. But yeah, it was a good recovery drive, and I was just trying to get second. That was what I wanted. So then Martin wouldn't get as many points in front of me. I think it's a 2-point gap now. So I'm
1 point.
1 point gap. Oh, okay, so 1 point. So I'm happy, and it's just going to be down to whoever wins the next race, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, 1 point separates you and Cameron. 2 drive-throughs and still coming home in second place. That is just all the cards falling onto the table for you, and you and Cameron to bash it out at Daytona, which is going to be an absolute glory to watch. Are you looking forward to next race?
Oh, for sure. It's going to be a little bit of a draft race, which I'm good at. Do I really like them? Not really, but yes, a track I'm okay at. Not very good, not very bad, but I feel like just getting a good start's gonna be key, and just getting a nice, decent gap, and doing what I did this race, kind of, but not kind of throwing it away, basically.
All right. Well, you had a good qualifying, good recovery drive, and a good finish, and hopefully we get to see that for you again. I know you have a lot of fans cheering for you out in the chat, so I'm going to leave this floor open to you to thank who you want.
Yeah, for sure. I want to thank our Ryan Race team. Our GTE guys did really, really good tonight. It was looking like a good podium for all 3 of them, and a win in GT3, but obviously the safety car throws a pair of dice on the board, and it's just down to who gets what. HPP pedals, Mark, thank you so much. Joe, Real Timing, Joel for sponsoring our team. My teammates tonight, they did amazing, like I said earlier, and my parents and my grandparents tonight, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa, they just support me with anything that I really want to do. Extreme 99 for hosting this whole thing and making this all possible. The admins, Kevin Ford, Jeff Jacobs, Bobby Childs, Russ Ruddock, and Apex.
Sometimes these things happen, and well, good luck at Daytona.
That's how racing goes. I wouldn't have it any other way, though.
That is absolutely the attitude. Larry, what a race we had here in the Ricmotech GT Challenge presented by Proforma Elite Texas Graphics here at Lime Rock Park. Uh, well, I know it's like your debut. You were thrown in the deep end here today. How was that?
The bull ring never fails to deliver here at Lime Rock Park. This place is just always exciting. It's tough to pass, and when it's tough to pass, you make passes happen. Sometimes legally, sometimes not, but it just makes for an exciting race. Saw some fantastic drives and some well-deserved victories there, and sets up what's going to be a pretty exciting race next week for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a lot of 23rd, but next week it is another race at the Phillip Island for the Classic Sprint Series, and then on the finale, Daytona Speedway for the Ricmotech GT Challenge Series on Monday, November 30th. All here, all same time, 8 p.m. EST, live on the Apex Racing TV channel. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here on Apex Racing TV for the Ricmotech GT Challenge Series presented by Proforma Elite Texas Graphics. I've been joined by Larry McLeod, Dennis Branch, and Alex Simpson were our production guys today. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a great night